What can we buy that makes sense? Then meanwhile, I have another partner that does the baseball cards with me. So I'm on eBay doing the cards. Okay, cool. Let's buy this. Let's try to buy a bunch of these. Let's get these graded. And then, I just look for any opportunity that makes mathematical sense.
So your partner in the cards, would you say he's more knowledgeable about what's going on in the card market, like at this specific moment?
Well, basically, he's like a retired attorney, and he does teaches kids this. So yeah, we're kind of we've been in the business maybe for 35 years. Go ahead.
I was gonna say he's more of the expert. You're just the guy that's pushing him to do more deals, make more money, and you're just.
Well, I think we're both experts because we've both been in the game, and I've traveled the nation. I did 35 big shows a year for 10 years, and I've met a lot of athletes, hung out with celebrities, bought and sold big collections. I have a lot of crazy stories too. So the point of the matter is, the card game, to me, is more fun than the real estate game because you're picking and choosing, and even though it's rare, it's readily available. When you deal with real estate, it's like you're finding a needle in a haystack because it's very limited.
What do you mean when you say even though it's rare, it's readily available?
Because eBay is a dumping ground. A lot of people want to realize profits on stuff that they inherited, purchases of stuff that they had years ago. So they're the black sheep of the business because they're the dumpers. So let's say a Michael Jordan rookie in a certain grade is worth whatever dollars. As soon as it goes up in value, you'll see a lot of people just start dumping on eBay because they want to realize the profit. So a guy like me will come and hope they drop, and then I'll start chipping them off, boom, boom, boom. And then when the dumpers are not dumping, then I'll start buying to buy it now to make the values keep going up. Because if I have 100 of one item and it's $5,000, then I could create it to jump to 10,000. Now every single one of my cards is now worth 10,000 each. That's how you make money.
Holy
So you don't make money in selling, you make money in buying.
Bro, have you ever seen that movie with Adam Sandler? It's came out a couple years ago where he's I think he's in New York or somewhere, and he's
the jewelry guy.
The jewelry guy.
So he deals with Kevin Garnett, and he has an old.
Yes.
I mean, that movie made no sense to me because I used to own jewelry stores, and he needed money to pay debt. He had about 100,000. He had about 50,000 grams of gold, and gold scraps out. At the time, gold was 2,000 an ounce. And 10 carat is 41% gold, 14 carats 58%, and 18 is 75%. So he could have took the gold and scrapped it. But I get he was on 47th Street in the Diamond District.
Bro, that motherfucker was like a roach, a cockroach, running around, fucking robbing Peter to pay Paul, fucking like.
Well, yeah, the jewelry game is a strong hustle because the diamonds are the most manipulated item on earth. There's more diamonds than people.
Right.
But, that's not my expertise, even though I own a lot of diamonds and I own a lot of jewelry. It's just the card game is different because...
It seems like it's a similar, kind of lifestyle, though. It seems like it's a similar mindset. Yeah, that dude's mindset, his fucking just eat, sleep, and breathe fucking making money and paying people back and fucking trying to rob this guy to pay this guy, and eventually he thinks he's going to come out even, but he's just digging his own grave the whole time.
The problem is he's a compulsive gambler, and at the same it's just in life. Like, a lot of people like to spend the money before they have it. Yeah. So at the same time, they're not really moving forward, they're moving backward. It's just like in the real estate business, any business. People are purchasing on what their payment's going to be, not what the price is. How do you think these furniture store gives 60 months, zero interest, no credit? Because they're banking on the fact that they need this necessity and they're willing to pay that payment. They're just cheap.
Right.
So it's like when you're a shark and you swim with guppies, you're always going to make money due to the fact that you see the hidden value in people's necessities. How can you control that? And when you're dealing with sports cards and stuff like that, you're banking on other people's egos. So you look at the guy, you see the ego, and you already know how to play him. See, that's you see my point?
Yeah.
Everybody has a certain need. So the way to make money is just to have a level head and don't worry about anything and just try to figure out your opponent, because everybody's your opponent. They're either with you or against you. There's really no medium. Right. That's why I only deal with the same amount of people all the time, because a lot of people I deal with, they think they could take advantage of me, and those are my favorite people, because the only way they think they're going to get me is to do a deal with me, and when they do a deal with me, the odds of me losing are very low. So those are the people I like to work with, obviously.
Wow.
Because people are edgy, pushy, fearful, spiteful, hateful. those are the best people to do deals with.
Really?
Of course, if they hate you, that means you love them. If somebody hated you, you should love them because they're jealous or they have something against you.
Right.
And if they're going to take time out of their life, their most precious asset, to have a negative thought of you, you must be in the back of their mind somewhere.
Right.
So in their storage, in their mental capacity, you're sitting there. See, me, I don't really hate anybody. Even if you screwed me, I still love you. Because it doesn't make sense, because the little thing you got from me, I'm going to get it back. Then at the same time, I got that hidden story on you for life. You know, I like to collect stories more than I like to collect anything else.
Is there any point where you can just kind of like sit back and relax and kind of stop the hustle? Do you think that one day you'll be able to stop hustling and just relax and enjoy it? Or are you going to think that's going to something that's...
Nah, I think it's something that's embedded in my mind, in my heart, and in my blood, because this is all I've ever known and this is all I've ever did.
Yeah.
I honestly am never happy when I take a day off, because to me, taking a day off is just a waste of your mind. You know, obviously you have kids and you have your wife and you want to maintain that level of respect and have fun, but your mind never stops. So, you know, like I go to the gym in the morning just to take a long drive, just to think about my next move. So when I get to push the weights or punch the bag, it's just basically a routine to figure out what's next.
Yeah.
And, you know, like I honestly love downturn markets because you actually make more money. Because when you see people's ribs showing, then they get nervous and they start dumping their assets. When you're in a market as we're seeing right now, you know, COVID has affected a lot of things and it's made a lot of people filthy rich that never had any money.
Who's it made filthy rich?
Well, when you look at the world today, you look at these big companies who've profited off of this. And you've seen little
like companies like Amazon and internet companies.
Yeah,
like
you know,
that.
just basic companies that you already know, the Walmarts, the Amazons. They're making money out of people's fear. Why do you think there was no toilet paper? Because they would buy. Because people, the media, embedded in your mind fear, because that's what makes money for them. So as people fear, you see their moves, and you understand a person by the moves they make when they're in fear. See, a guy like me, and I don't mean to act like I'm anybody special, but I don't fear anything except time, because it's the only thing that moves. So you have to follow
One thing you can't buy.
Exactly. You know, well, we spoke on that the other day. You can't buy time, so that's got to be your most precious asset. Everything else in life is replaceable. You know, obviously human beings are not replaceable, but every other thing in life that you could purchase is replaceable. Getting back to the baseball cards, that's why they have such a high value. If they're extremely rare, they're unreplaceable, so people want to buy them because it brings back a point of their childhood. It brings the ego out of them. I mean, same thing with painting, with anything. Anything that's rare has a lot of value.
Yeah.
Like real estate. I like real estate because they don't create new dirt. In reality, the only thing you're buying is the dirt. The actual building is just a liability because it's depreciating every single day. It's the dirt that's going up, not the building.